Also, as you can see, we have seen it together and discussed it in previous sessions, and we identified it. One of the most important elements in it is, for example, the content area, tool linkage, and web linkage. These are among the three main elements present in the addition section. Because right now, this list I have here, for example, I can find the term virtual classrooms. This virtual classroom is a tool, as you all know. It's just a tool through which we create a virtual class or session, establishing a direct virtual classroom between us and the students. So this is a tool, and that's why I wanted to delete this tool. I performed the deletion process, and here I went ahead and deleted it. So the virtual classrooms are no longer available. Now, if I want to add this tool, I need to add it from something called tool linkage. From the tool linkage here, I can add the virtual classrooms. So we will say tool linkage, and then you need to specify the type of tool. Here you can add Collaborate Ultra, which is the virtual classrooms, the Collaborate Ultra. Also, announcements. You will notice that announcements are a tool. If, for example, you don't have any announcements in your course, you can add them from the tool linkage, which is the announcements, the email, for example, course messages, discussion boards, and groups. All of these, as you can see, are just tools. Choose the type, name it virtual classrooms. Make sure students can see it. Click Submit. Move it up to the desired spot under the main page. And it also needs to be available to users so that students can see it. The type we have is important, which is Collaborate Ultra. Then we say Submit. You will notice everyone. The virtual classrooms have now been added as a tool in the course menu, but it's the last tool available. So the arrangement part we talked about earlier is important because when I come to it at the end, I can start moving it up without any problem until I reach the place I want it to be. So I can now start moving it up to the point that I have placed it under the main page. And it is currently now available right on my main page, various assignments, different tests, and activities, including all fall under the content area. They all fall to the content area. I would like to say, when I come to talk about the content area, what is it? For example, I can say I want to create a content area, and I might name it assignments or tests, profits. For example, 452 is available to users. You will notice that this has become the tests area. From this 452, I can create a test, create an assignment, create an activity, and I can also create content. I can start adding an item, a file, audio, images, videos, or a link, just as we explained these elements in a previous session. This section was about how to handle the course value effectively, and you will also observe here on the left side of the screen where various options and settings are displayed for your convenience. The part we talked about is you might click on this lock. This opening on the right means the course is visible. Click it now, and the lock turns red, meaning it is locked. If students say the course is unavailable, unlock it. Click the red lock to make it available. But if you click on it now, you'll see that this lock has turned red, and it means that it is locked. The opening that was on the right side is gone, and it also says here that the course is not available to the students. So when a number of students ask, or let's say all the students in the section specifically say that the course is not available to them, then you must go and unlock the course. You'll find that this lock is red. Just click on it once with the mouse, and it will be available. When all the students in the section say, the course is unavailable, unlock the course. Click the red lock to make it available, and the course will be accessible to all students. If only a few students can't access it, they may have withdrawn or faced penalties. These processes restrict them, possibly removing them from the course. and the course will be available to all students. But if there are, for example, a small number of students who are unable to access it, it could be that these students have submitted a withdrawal request or they are facing penalties. Because these academic processes, whether it's a withdrawal request or a penalty, lead to a situation where they are restricted and they may be removed from the course. An update process takes place all the time, and the student is removed from the section on the Blackboard system. Why? Because they submitted a withdrawal, deferral, or excuse, or faced penalties, so they won't be present. This issue arises in tech support. In the grading center, some students might be missing. They were there before, but now they're not. At semester's end, penalties might apply. Ask if the student submitted a deferral or withdrawal. This is common in tech support. In the grading center, students might be hidden. You can hide a student, meaning they won't be visible. I have students not appearing at the grading center. Note that penalties may apply at semester end. We should inquire if they submitted deferral or withdrawal. Students might be hidden in the grading center. Note, students can be hidden, e.g., student 5. Student 5 is a row with name, ID, grades, and scores. Keep this EP possibility in mind. Check the grading center for results. The student might be hidden in the grading center. You can hide a student in the grading center, meaning student 5 is a row. It is a row with their name, ID, grades, and scores. This is a possibility to keep in mind. Check the grading center for results. You might accidentally hide that row. You might forget, and the 75 is gone. It's not deleted, just hidden. So when you want to. What does student 5 represent? It represents a row in the grading center. This row contains their name, student ID, total grades, and the scores they received. So it's a row for each student. Therefore, this is also a possibility that you should keep in mind. You might want to check the grading center for that student's results. You might accidentally hide that row, and you'll find that the 75 that was there is gone. It hasn't been deleted. It has just been hidden. So when you want to make sure before asking the student if they have withdrawn or faced penalties, you can go to the management section and choose to show the rows. Then you will see all the students displayed in front of you. They should all be visible. You might hide a student's row, making the 75 disappear. It's not deleted, just hidden. Check the management section to show rows. All students should be visible. If a student is hidden, it will say hidden, meaning they are still in the section and grading center. To fix, select the student and show their row. Ensure before asking the student if they have withdrawn or faced penalties. Go to the management section and show rows. Then students will be shown. They should be seen. If a student is hidden, it will say hidden. This means the student is still in the section and present in the grading center, but might be accidentally hidden. Select the student and show their row. Select show after selecting the student, and the student will be seen. Then select send to make the student visible in the grading center. To show or reveal, if you find that a student is in a hidden state, it will say hidden here. This means that this student is still present in the section and in the grading center, but they might have been accidentally hidden. So just as you selected the student and hid them, you can select the student and choose to show them. Click show after selecting the student, and the student will be visible. Once you click show, the student will be displayed. Then you can click send to make the student visible in the grading center. Also, when you see a situation like this, it's called editing mode. As you can see now, I can edit the name from here, hide the link to the list, add a content area, and arrange the items. I can do all the things we've talked about. Just simply press down firmly and click on the word show after selecting the student, and then you will see that this particular student will indeed be in a visible state. Once you do that step successfully, just go ahead and click once more on what we call here as our send button to make sure that this same student becomes fully visible again within our grading center interface. This is also an important point for you all out there to keep very much in mind. When you see a situation like this, it's called editing mode. I can edit the name, hide the link, add content, and arrange items. I can do all the things we've talked about because I have editing mode, allowing these actions and access. If editing mode is off, click once to notice it's disabled. In this case, when you come here to the course, there's no problem. But the idea is that if you see, why can I do these things? Because I have something called edit mode, which allows me to perform actions. But if my edit mode is no longer green and turned off, I can also click once with the mouse, and you'll notice that my edit mode has been disabled. When you come here, you'll find the circle to add items is no longer there. Just go back to edit mode. But if my editing mode is no longer green and has been turned off, I can also click once with the mouse, and you'll notice that my editing mode is now disabled and is no longer green, which allows me to perform these actions. When you come here to the course, you'll find that the circle that had the plus sign, which I could use to add or arrange items, or the circle next to each item to edit, hide, or delete, is no longer there. It's a simple matter. You just need to go back to editing mode and click once with the mouse, and you'll notice that editing mode is back to normal, showing green again. Now, I can easily add items, arrange them, and interact with everything. Everything has become simple for me. You'll find that the circle that had the plus sign, which I could use to add items or arrange elements, or the circle next to each item to edit, hide, or delete, is no longer there. It's a very simple matter. You just need to go back to editing mode and click once with the mouse on the left. You'll notice that the editing mode is now back to normal, showing green, and everything has become simple. I can add elements. I can make any element interact with others. Everything has become easy for me. These were simple matters on how to deal with this part, an important tool. You should pay attention to it. The student preview. Student preview shows you, or it displays the page as if the student is the one logging in. So what did you do? I chose to hide the link. On my teacher page, it is not hidden. It's there. So if I click on it, I can interact with elements. As a teacher, I can do that. But on the student page, the link is not visible. That link should not appear to the student. So if you want to make sure, or it shows you the page as if the student is the one logging in exactly. So what did you do? I went to the activities and said I would hide the link, or I would hide it. Of course, I have it on my page as a teacher. It's not in a hidden state. It's there, but there's just an indicator here. It's there. So if I click on it, I can enter and interact with the elements inside it. As a teacher, I should be able to do that. But as a student, when I log into the student page, that link should not be visible to the student. That link should not appear to the student at all. As a student, when I log into the student page, that link should not be visible to the student. That link should not appear at all for the student. So if you want to make sure